So good day everyone. My name is Glenson and I will be discussing to you my final report 2 in Coursera outcome. So this is my final report 2 for Coursera outcome CEM198-2R section EO2. So my third written report has a overall similarity of 3% and the 3% came from the Coursera.org and the Mapua University. So this is my final course report and the report 1 entitled Introduction to Project Management and report 2 titled Engineering Major Projects that focus on initiating and planning, and that's for OJT2, and it is reported by Illorin Glenson and to be submitted by Dr. Dan De Silva. So final report 1, Introduction to Project Management. So for preliminary, so the course take is Project Management by the Coursera project. So course description is simply the course is all about understanding different concepts in project management and how to deal in engaging projects. So for institution, so institution offered, it is offered by the Rice Learning Management from the Rice University. So for detailed description, so for the course content, the course of Introduction to Project Management is filled with essential learning that will help develop engineering management skills and project handling. So it is composed of video lectures and peer-graded assignments. So learning objectives, so the learning objectives of this course is to define what is project management, how to deal with the process of project managing, and how to evaluate different stakeholders and risk in the project. So for the characteristic of course delivery, so every week or every chapter is has a video lectures and then a pre-graded assignment and then a reading materials. So for assessment and evaluation, so learning goals for week 1 is all about engaging different tasks. So from task 1 to task 5, that is backup with video lectures and instructor guidelines. So for the upcoming week, there is a final assessment for every task to identify if the student really learn in each task. So this is an example of a online virtual learning. So the left side is my very own cloud workspace, and to the right side is my instructor cloud space. So the instructor can guide its student how to properly create documents and management plan. So a reading materials and pre-graded assignment, another pre-graded reading materials. So for the course summary for task 1 is complete a full document of project scope statement. So basically a practice to how to create a project scope statement using the project management plan. Task 2 is developing a proper stakeholder responsible matrix or RICI for project management. So basically stakeholder responsible matrix assessment is the chart for the major stakeholders in the project. So the student will know how to engage in stakeholders, how to monitor them, how to analyze their interest and influence in the project. Next is task number 3, the sequence of project task list in project management. So it is somewhat related to the task 2, but it is more organized and frequently used in project management. So task 4 is add task deadline for the project works and ownership using Asana. So this is a form of scheduling, but in terms of project documents. So task 5 is making exploration in different views of projects. So in this task, you will analyze different views in project management in every department for communication. Next is student learning. So target ideas is the target ideas for the student learning are create a proper essential management tools like the scope statement for the project and stakeholders responsibility matrix. So here student must able to create project scope statement for the project, and of course the RIC chart. Next is build a project work package, schedule and setting up concrete timeline using Asana. So this formulation of work breakdown structure, and then after the formulation of work breakdown structure, you can use different schedule management tool like the Gantt chart to put some duration and timeline for each work activities. So comparing other different project views using Asana, so every project has different perspectives, so every project has a different goal. So for example, is a construction project is different from a company-based project, so they must know how to apply different organizational project methods to approach each individual projects. So fundamental understanding of project managing. So basically, this is the main point of the Coursera, to understand project managing and how project managing will affect projects. So next is developing skills in project planning using integrated management methods. So here, the student must develop project planning using different management tools or application. So next is learning leadership skills and managerial principle about project planning. So this is basically combination of engineering principle in leadership and managerial skills. So the course program want to apply those two principles in order to achieve effective project managing. So understanding the basic principle of project managing and the use of effective engineering leadership. So basically it is same as the last one, but it is more focused on effective engineering leadership. Next is conclusion. So project management training and body management, body of knowledge, guys. So these are the main governing bodies in guiding management for project. So they formulate guideline and standard for effective management. Next is application to construction engineering and management field. So project planning is construction management. So of course, planning is important in construction, especially in bigger projects. So creation of project scope statement for construction work. So project scope statement is necessary for the construction work to break down its work activities in the construction sites. So identifying project risk and the construction project. So risk is inevitable in projects. So identifying project risk must be a priority to minimize the loss of resources or the project itself. So developing stakeholder register. So it is important to know your stakeholders in a construction project, because they are the one who will determine if your project will be a success or not. So effective leadership in project management. So of course, as a construction engineering management, we must take the role of a leader in a project. So effective leadership must be a good skill for a construction engineering management. So next is organizational project communication. It is important to always communicate in the project, especially in a large project where different departments work together to create a successful project. So for documentation, so it is my certificate that proves that I finished the Coursera program, and then my grades. So next is final report 2, engineering project management, that is focus on initiating and planning. So for preliminary, so of course the course taken is project engineering management, that in initiating and planning. Course description. So the course is part of 4 series programs from the Rice University, which deals with engineering project management, that is more focused in how to initiate and plan a project. So institution that offered the course is the Rice University under their program of engineering leadership through Coursera program. So for course description, so course content. So the course content is filled with video lectures, reading materials, graded assignments, and some online activities. So for learning objectives, so they are focused on to teach students how to create management plan, perform and perform a project assessment using information from the past projects, identify the main key deliverables based on business requirements. Student must be knowledgeable to perform stakeholder analysis, can able to analyze and develop a project organization, create a project charter, explain business case, and informing stakeholders of the charter. So for characteristic, of course, delivery, so it is the same as the other. So they provide video lectures or online video lectures, then a reading materials, then a concept exam or quizzes for every topic, and then a final in a field graded assignment, and then final exam. So for learning goals, so for week 1, they are focused on course introduction. So for video lectures about the general knowledge about the project management, and then reading materials that is provided by the PMBOK guide. So week 2 is more focused on the project organization, and then for week 3, project communication and stakeholder management. So they're focused on communication and how to handle stakeholders. Week 4 is project integration management. So this is more based on creation of a document and how to integrate different culture and styles in project making. So week 5 is engineering project management, initiating and planning. So this is much more focused in combining all the concepts, and then of course the final exam for the learners. This example of a video lectures in engineering project management, example of a reading materials, and then and then some exams, peer graded assignment which deals with project stakeholder register. So for course summary, so for week 1, introduction to engineering project management, about initiating and planning. So for week 1 is all about introduction about the course topic, how the course program will work, and how the grading system in the course program will tackle the learning objectives. So week 2 is project organization and process. So more on how to deal with the organization process, how to incorporate yourself in a project organization. So for week 3 is understanding project communication and engaging project stakeholder management. So it's more on socializing between the stakeholders and how to basically connect with the other departments of the organization or other project title that is in line with your project. So next is discussing project integration management. So it is in 4 weeks. So integration management is how adapting the organization, how to incorporate the organization system into your management skills. So week 5 is course program, final exam, and project deliverable. So week 5 is basically the test for your test for all the knowledge you gain throughout the Coursera program, and final assessment in your skills for the course. So next is student learning. So in student learning, there are target ideas, and first target ideas is to define what is project and describe project management. So basically it is the concept of the course program to define what is project and how project management affect the project. So target idea 2 is to be able to identify the relationship among the portfolio management, program management, and project management in the organization. So basically it is a formulation of portfolio management which is consisting of multiple projects. So how to handle multiple projects at the same time in a hectic approach. So the student will teach how to manage these multiple projects. So using PMI as a resource and the project management body of knowledge guide. So using some guidelines from the PMO guide and PMI. Next is student must able to create and properly explain stakeholder engagement assessment metrics. So student must be engaged in stakeholder assessment matrix. Next is student must learn how to identify project management communication tools and their use for project management. So here, student must be knowledgeable how to use management communication tool in the project management. So how to properly use that tool to gain benefits from the project. So all the learners must able to apply the presented course knowledge to showcase their deep understanding course topic, creating management plan. So basically, it's the application of the course program to how to create a management plan if it is construction work or any type of project. Learn how to discuss the positive and negative impact of culture and styles and the effect in project management. So integration is very important in project management, especially if you are adapting to a new organization with new kind of systems. So for application, of course, to construction engineering and management field. So first is project initiating and construction industry. So initiating in construction industry is very important. It is where the requirements, the certificates, the bidding happen. So invitation to bid. So it is important for a construction project to initiate. Project planning. So project planning is very important. Planning and designing is very critical in construction projects. So without proper planning, there will be no project execution. So next is project management in the organization. So in a construction project, it is important to manage properly, effective management. How to engage in the project communication. So as a construction engineering management, you must able to communicate with your stakeholders, to the client, to the management team, and to the technical team of the construction to lessen the misunderstanding and conflict with the within the project. Creation of stakeholder engagement assessment matrix. So it is important to know your stakeholders, individual stakeholders or organizational that is affected by the project. Next is project management. So as a construction engineering management, we are expected to manage projects, especially in construction, where we guide people and other team members. So this is my documentation that I have finished the engineering project management that is focused on initiating and planning. And that is the end of my video presentation. Thank you.